Now to the very latest on the murder of a transgender woman who is a social media influencer.
We're now hearing the 911 calls after she was shot and killed inside a car. Local 10's Jolina Esperto was outside the Broward jail in Fort Lauderdale with the calls and new video.
On November 14th, 2025, a Tesla's security camera captured something absolutely horrifying. A young woman was shot multiple times by the person who claimed to love her. Her name was Maurice Harrison, but the world knew her as Girlalala. And what makes this case even more heartbreaking is that everyone saw it coming. The warning signs were everywhere, posted online for millions to see. But nobody stepped in. Nobody saved her. And now she's gone. Before we dive deeper into this tragic story, if you care about justice, if you want to help spread awareness about cases like this, please hit that like button, subscribe to CSI Crime Archives, and click that bell icon so you never miss when we cover important cases that need to be heard. Because staying silent is how tragedies like this keep happening. Now, let me tell you about who Girlalala really was, because she deserves to be remembered as more than just a victim. Maurice Harrison was only 21 years old. 21. Think about that for a second. At 21, most people are just starting their lives, figuring out who they are, chasing their dreams. And Girlalala was doing exactly that. She was a talented hairstylist who specialized in wig styling and hair extensions. She ran her own business called Girlalala Beauty Bar in Pompano Beach, Florida. People loved her work. They loved her energy. She had this incredible ability to make people feel beautiful, to make them feel seen. But it wasn't just her skills with hair that made her special. Girlalala had built an entire community online. She had over 235,000 followers on TikTok. Some reports say it was even higher, around 294,000. She had over 40,000 followers on Instagram, over 4,700 on YouTube. And these weren't just numbers. These were real people who tuned in every day to watch her reaction videos, her Get Ready With Me content, her hilarious lip-syncing videos, especially to songs by rapper JT, who was her absolute favorite artist. Everyone who knew Girlalala or followed her online described her the same way. Bold, energetic, funny, vibrant. She was the kind of person who could walk into a room and immediately light it up. She could make you laugh even when you were having the worst day. Here's something that makes this story even more devastating. Girlalala's family had already been through unimaginable pain. Just a little over a year before her death, in August 2024, her brother was shot and killed. Can you imagine? This family lost 2 children to gun violence in barely over a year. 2 funerals, 2 lives cut short, 2 futures stolen. Now let's talk about the man who would take Girlalala's life. His name is Shanoyd Whyte Jr. He was 25 years old, 4 years older than Girlalala. He had played football at Bethune-Cookman University as a defensive lineman during his freshman year. From the outside, he might have seemed like just another young guy trying to make something of himself. But there was something much darker underneath. Girlalala and Shanoyd had been together for several years. Some sources say around 3 to 7 years, which means this relationship had been going on for a significant part of her young adult life. And in the months leading up to her death, she started featuring him in her TikTok videos. After Girlalala's death, people started going back through her old videos, and what they found was chilling. There were videos where she had visible injuries.
Bruh, it's 1 something in the morning. Why is I'm outside at McDonald's sitting on the floor? Cause the nigga decided to pop up to my friend's house trying to kill me. Like, bruh, I don't know what my mama done blessed me with. But Fat One doing this thing, cause it got a nigga like literally outside my friend's house, like 2 miles away, trying to get to me. Like, this boy is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, bruh, he already done slapped me in my mouth tonight. Yesterday, put a knot on my face. Like, it like could go down like I can't even see it, but it was like right here. Face was like, where did the cut at? Scratched me in my face right here. I don't know if I could see it, like right there. Bro, the boy is crazy. Like, look at my arms. Cause of him. Knees. Bruh. When I tell you I'm done, I'm done. Like,
The violence had been escalating for years. And it wasn't just Girlalala who experienced Shanoyd's violence. Back in November 2022, 3 years before he killed Girlalala, Shanoyd was arrested for domestic violence against a different victim. The arrest form stated that he physically and maliciously battered the victim multiple times. But that victim chose not to pursue charges. And so Shanoyd walked free. Free to continue his pattern of abuse. Free to eventually kill. After Girlalala's death, more videos of Shanoyd surfaced. In one, he talked about being bullied by women growing up. He talked about his history with fighting. In another video, he made some really telling statements. He said he was only attracted to the prettiest trans women. He mentioned wanting to end the relationship sooner, but didn't. He claimed he wasn't fully committed. These weren't the words of someone who loved Girlalala. These were the words of someone who saw her as an object, as a possession, as something he could control. And here's where the situation became especially dangerous. According to people close to the situation, Girlalala was planning to leave him. She wanted a better life. She wanted out. But Shanoyd wasn't comfortable with that. Some accounts suggest he was worried about being publicly known as someone who dated a transgender woman and then being left alone with that identity. One source quoted him as saying something like, "You're my first transgender girlfriend, you're breaking up with me, and it's hard for me to go back to dating straight women because I went public with you." Can you see what's happening here? This wasn't about love. This was about control. This was about his ego, his reputation, his discomfort with his own choices. And Girlalala was going to pay the ultimate price for wanting her freedom. In the time leading up to November 14th, things were getting worse. Girlalala had been arrested back in July 2025 on some charges, including misdemeanor petty theft and driving with a suspended license.
Why I'm going to jail? If I tell y'all one more time why I'm going to jail, I did fucking fraud. That's why I'm going to jail.
She had recently been released from jail. And during this time, Shanoyd was reportedly stalking her. The noose was tightening. And according to what we know now, Shanoyd and Girlalala had been arguing all day on November 14th, multiple arguments. The tension was building and building and building. Around 6:50 to 7 p.m. that evening, Shanoyd's car pulled into a residential driveway in the 3300 block of Northwest 37th Street in Lauderdale Lakes, Florida. Inside that car, Girlalala and Shanoyd were having yet another argument. According to what Shanoyd later told detectives, Girlalala pulled his hair during the fight, and that's when he pulled out his gun.
Video from a Tesla captures who appears to be white getting out of the driver's side of a beige sedan along the 3300 block of Northwest 37th Street. The passenger door opens where we're told by relatives the victim, 21-year-old Maurice Harrison, known as Girlalala, tries to get out. White is seen grabbing her by the hair and putting her back inside before pacing with a cell phone.
And then he pulls out his cell phone. He calls 911.
Stay on the phone with me, okay?
Yes, hello.
This is
Hello.
911. This is
Get here.
911.
Hurry up and get here. Who's calling me? Hurry up and get here.
Stay on the line with me. I need you to stay on the line with me, okay?
She and her boyfriend called 911 after she was shot.
Yes, I don't know the address, bro. Just check. Just check, please.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
And
Listen to what's happening here. He just shot the woman he claimed to love multiple times at close range. He forced her dying body back into the car. And now he's calling 911 and acting panicked. Like he's the victim. Like he needs help. It's a performance. It's manipulation. And it would have worked better if it wasn't for that Tesla camera capturing every single second of the truth. When deputies from the Broward Sheriff's Office arrived on the scene around 7 p.m., Shanoyd flagged them down. They found Girlalala in the front passenger seat, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. The paramedics and deputies did what they could. They rushed her to Broward Health Medical Center. But it was too late. Girlalala was pronounced dead at the hospital. At the scene, investigators found heavy blood saturation on the front passenger seat. Blood pooled on the floorboard. Blood droplets on the pavement outside the open passenger door. They found a holstered handgun behind the front passenger seat. They recovered 2 spent 9mm shell casings. The evidence was overwhelming. Multiple neighbors reported hearing 2 gunshots. The physical evidence, the video evidence, the witness statements, everything pointed to one conclusion. Shanoyd Whyte Jr. had murdered Girlalala in cold blood. Shanoyd was arrested right there at the scene. He was charged with first-degree murder with a firearm. First-degree murder means premeditated. It means prosecutors believe this wasn't just a crime of passion or a split-second decision. This was planned. This was intentional. And the use of a firearm makes it even more serious. When detectives questioned him, Shanoyd admitted that he and Girlalala had been in a relationship for several years. He admitted they argued frequently, that they had argued multiple times earlier that same day. He claimed the final argument started when she pulled his hair. He admitted to pulling out his firearm, but then he refused to explain what happened next. He just stopped talking, because he knew. He knew exactly what he had done, and he knew there was no explanation that would make it okay. Over that weekend, Shanoyd faced a judge for his bond hearing, and the judge made the right call. Bond was denied. Shanoyd Whyte Jr. remains in Broward County Jail to this day, held without bond, facing a potential sentence of life in prison without parole or possibly even the death penalty. When the news broke, tributes flooded social media. Her hundreds of thousands of followers were devastated. They shared memories, videos, photos. They talked about how much joy she brought into their lives. And then rapper JT, the artist Girlalala loved so much, the one whose song she lip-synced to in so many videos, JT stepped up in a major way. JT donated $5,000 to Girlalala's GoFundMe for funeral expenses. Some sources say it was even more, possibly $13,500. But more importantly, JT used her platform to say something that everyone needed to hear. She posted on Instagram, and even though the story has since expired, her words were captured and shared everywhere. She wrote, "Rest beautiful, Girlalala. We love you, and heaven will never be boring now that you are there. Your boldness, energy, humor, and beauty will be missed. You never missed a chance to show me love, and for that I'm forever grateful. I'm sorry this happened to you." The GoFundMe campaign raised over $28,000 from 945 donations. Girlalala's family, still grieving the loss of her brother just over a year earlier, released a statement thanking everyone for their prayers and support. They said, "Now, we are just praying that justice is served to the fullest degree." Her memorial service is scheduled for December 6, 2025. But here's what we need to talk about, and this is the part that should make every single one of us uncomfortable. Think about all the people who watched those videos, who saw those warning signs, who knew something was wrong. Why didn't anyone step in? Why didn't anyone reach out to her privately and say, "Hey, are you safe? Do you need help?" Why do we watch people document their own abuse online and treat it like entertainment? Why do we scroll past, maybe drop a comment, maybe hit like, and then just move on with our day? Here's what I want you to ask yourself. What responsibility do we have when we see warning signs? When we see someone posting about abuse, even if they're laughing about it, even if they're making jokes, what should we do? Is it enough to just feel bad after they're gone? Is it enough to post "rest in peace" and move on? But here's the biggest question of all. What are you going to do differently now? Because if you've watched this video, if you've heard Girlalala's story, you can't unhear it. You can't pretend you don't know. So what happens the next time you see warning signs? What happens the next time someone posts about abuse, about fighting, about being hurt by their partner? Are you going to scroll past? Or are you going to reach out? Are you going to say something? Are you going to try to help? If this case has affected you, if you believe in justice, if you want to be part of the solution, then I need you to do something for me. Share this video. Get Girlalala's story out there. Make sure people know her name, know what happened to her, and know that this cannot keep happening. Hit that like button. Subscribe to CSI Crime Archives if you haven't already. Click the bell icon so you're notified every time we cover cases that need attention. Leave a comment below telling me what you think needs to change to protect vulnerable people from domestic violence. Because staying silent, scrolling past, doing nothing, that's how we got here. That's how 399 transgender people have been murdered since 2013. That's how Girlalala ended up dead at 21. We have to do better. We have to be better. And it starts with each one of us deciding that these lives matter, that we're going to pay attention, and that we're going to speak up. Rest in power, Girlalala. Your light won't be forgotten. And to everyone watching, remember what JT said. If you see something, say something. It could save a life.